in-person quotes for window cleaning versus Google Earth. We're here with Anthony Heeman from Wagtail Window Cleaning, my doggy. And for years, I stopped doing in-person quotes, and I literally just rotate the customer's house on Google Earth, and we get very accurate quote pricing. We do a square footage, we can ask per window, we can do anything. And I don't care if I'm off by $15 to $40 or a small percentage, because the time spent going and doing these in-person quotes, which you do all in-person quotes, you have 2 or 3 crews at max. You guys are swamped window cleaning, and we're having a powwow. We're actually talking about trading business secrets. But man, why would you want to do all in-person quotes for window cleaning? Anthony?
Well, yeah, there's a couple of ways you could do quotes. The classic is kind of the in-person, and you can see everything up close. I personally believe that the future is flat rate pricing, where the customers can see all of your pricing and just they can buy from you really quick, just because attention spans are dwindling more every day. However, I hadn't figured that out yet, how to do it.
Well, we use Responsibid on the front of our website for all the automatic quoting and bidding. If you want to know what it is, Responsibid, link below this video, you can try it out. It's awesome. But
Responsibid's great. We used it for a little bit. We ended up not using it just because there was a couple, with the software that we used, there was a couple hiccups that I wasn't really willing to create workarounds for. It was just too clunky.
So then you do just all in person?
Yeah, we do all in person. I'll go out there, the admin will schedule the quote, and then I'll go out there, take pictures of all 4 sides of the house, quote it, send it to them. And that way we have, actually the technicians really like having the pictures more than us, because they can go in like the night before and they can see what their job is, and they can see, oh, we got a easy job, or it's in this place and it's going to be easy to do this setup or whatever. They really love having the pictures of the house, I've noticed. It's kind of funny.
So why do you actually do in-person quotes?
I like to make sure there's nothing that we're missing. I did Google only quotes for a while back when I was first starting, and it's fine if you're working in a pretty small service area, in my opinion. Once you get into projects that are kind of complex, like for example, I'm in window cleaning. So if you're doing new construction window cleaning, you want to be able to see what's on the glass.
We don't do any new construction.
I know.
I've if you let me know in the comments below, I get a lot of questions. People, they want us to do a new construction. What do I quote this at? I'm like, dude, I ain't touching a new construction under $1,000.
Yeah,
but
they're never under $1,000 for us. Pretty much, like we price the heck out of them.
$1,500 or something. All this.
Yeah,
and if I can't see it on Google Earth, I don't even want the job unless it's over $1,000. If a house is going to be under $1,000, I can quote it on Google Earth. But if it's over $1,000, I got to see it in person, because there's way too many windows and too many sides. So is this why, for accuracy?
It's accuracy, but also I like to be able to see the setups, like technically speaking. Like,
and are you meeting the customers and handing them literature?
No, you can do that. That would probably increase your conversion rate if you actually were able to meet with every customer. It's kind of hard to do that efficiently with just me as the only salesperson. I would imagine if you had more salespeople, you could make that happen. But I like doing it because I like to be able to see from a technical perspective, if there's windows on the interior of the home that have weird setups. We work in a lot of like high-end neighborhoods, like we're in Bloomfield, Birmingham, Michigan, and a lot of those houses are custom.
Oh, dude, if you live in Michigan, you go to Bloomfield, Birmingham. In Michigan, there's this area called Bloomfield in Birmingham where all the rich people live. Whatever. There's a lot of really nice houses and older houses, but the houses are funky and weird. There's weird angles and sides and windows. You just can't. So many trees and stuff. You got to go look at them in person. Like, I've underquote and shot myself in the foot. I've been in a house in Birmingham, and I didn't know that every window, I quoted over Google Earth and found out they were all French panes, plus tons of windows inside they wanted on. So on the spot, I was only able to talk to the customer like, hey, it's going to be a little bit extra, and I couldn't tell them the full. Today I would, but like, you've been through all that?
I've been through that. Like, yeah, and that's kind of what put us over the edge. It was like, I don't want to deal with this again. I don't want to deal with the scheduling snafu of like, hey, it's actually all French panes, and it's actually all storm French panes, which we don't do at all. You know what I mean? Because that's just unprofessional. And especially if you're working with high profile people, they expect you to have it together. And so if like you get out there and you're like, oh, I didn't know it was like this. Like, it's actually 3 times the price.
I've walked off jobs in the beginning with panic attack, apologize to customers. Like, we get a storm window out, one of a house from the 1800s, and it won't go back in. And we've literally had to like use what I call aggressive care to get the window back in. Panic left the house, and the customer understood. Some of them don't. I heard a story where a window cleaner had to literally spend like $1,800 in like 2 days going and having to buy a sander and sand all these windows just to get the windows back in to make good on his word. And that's not what this is about, but it is.
No. Because that is what it's about. That's why I don't mess with it anymore, because I don't want that. Because the people that you're serving, it's like they expect a high level of service. Like everybody is working for them, essentially. Like they're at the top of their game. Like these are people that have it together. And it's like you have to value their time. If you are trying to save your time by quoting it halfway and then you get out there and you just wasted all of their time talking to them, scheduling it, coming out there, they're staying home from their businesses that they're trying to run. And then you're just showing up and being like, sorry, pal, like actually, like, because I wanted to stay at home.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. That's a great point. I have made that mistake several times where we've showed it to a job. I coded on Google Earth and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it was like this.
Yeah.
And customers pissed off. Here's another mistake I made. We let the customer know ahead of time if there's any furniture or dressers or anything. Open all the blinds, move the furniture away, any stuff. If it's little stuff, I try to get them to do it because I don't want to be moving people's knickknacks and all that stuff. But I was so busy, I forgot. I do a half an hour heads up call. Keith from Kelfus Window Cleaning. We're on our way to come clean your windows. We'll be there in 30 minutes. Cool. Well, I call this one customer and I'm like, hey, it's Keith from Kelfus Window Cleaning. We're on our way. Please move any furniture and stuff. And the homeowner goes, what? I'm at work right now, buddy. My wife is pregnant at home, barefooted with the kids. You want me to call my pregnant wife and have her rush around in the next 30 minutes and move heavy furniture away from the windows? And I go, oh, no, it's fine. I'll do it all. Don't worry. I'm happy to do it. I'm really sorry. And I got there and we just moved it all and did the job. The whole time we were doing the job, I knew it was the last time we were doing that job. And it was just a mistake that I had made in communication. We could talk about this shit for days.
Yeah. And like not everybody's like that. Setting the expectations like you did is a really giant thing, and letting them know this is exactly what we're doing. This is what we're not going to be doing. Like this is what's included in your package. This is what we will not be doing. If you want them to move stuff for you, that's great. Like you can do that. To me, it should be about the customer as much as possible. I've always said that they're very wealthy customers, like high profile customers. You got to learn to speak their language. And if you do, they'll take care of you. And that's what you want. You want to be close to those people.
Your average ticket per job is over 500?
It's 400 to 500. Yeah.
Good for you, bro.
Yeah.
Especially in 2023. Got to raise the prices. And I was out there doing window cleaning for peanuts, and I had to raise the prices. And the one thing with the window cleaning and all the positive reviews we have and the trust is a lot of customers did stick around compared to the landscaping side of the business where they just would dump us when we raised the price. The window cleaning customers, some of my best customers, have stuck with us along the journey. Have you noticed that, or have you gotten fired a lot? Or?
Yeah, we have some people from back when we first started. It's not a ton. Window cleaning is kind of funny because it's not necessarily like landscaping or tree trimming. You're coming into their intimate space. You know, you're seeing where they sleep, where their kids sleep. This is where they let their guard down. This is their castle. You got to remember that when you're working there.
It's a huge responsibility going inside of people's homes. It takes the utmost conscientiousness and care. I think about the paranoia of letting employees, obviously you vet them, you do background check, drug screen, everything you could possibly do, make sure they're insured. You're insured. I think about simple stuff like what if they're walking down a hallway and if they got a 22-inch squeegee when they shouldn't even have that in the house and it's dragging along the customer's beautiful flat polo painted walls and leaving a long scratch mark.
It's happened. Yeah.
Oh, what happened? Tell me.
Yeah. Well, technically, they told us that it happened, but it didn't happen. I've done things like that where you're not paying attention and your bucket on a belt like hits a table or something or knocks something over. And actually, no, it did happen. We actually broke a vase in a multi-million-dollar house. My employee did, and that was terrifying. Terrifying.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Give us this is the gold nugget.
So we're working in this house. I think it was out in Bloomfield, something like that. We weren't even dealing with the homeowner. It's when you deal with these wealthy people, it's the house manager.
Yeah,
you're not even talking to them. And if they're cool, your life is good. They're usually, what I was talking about with you have to speak their language. Their language, wealthy people language, is service and loyalty. And these house managers understand that like to the highest degree possible. They are severely loyal. Like they will vet you and they will put you through the ringer. But once you're in and they trust you, it's good.
Exactly. Yeah. You just go in the house, do your thing.
But you've got to be willing to be put through that fire a little bit. And, and it is worth it. So getting back to what I was saying. So yeah, we were in this house dealing with the house manager. Employee was moving some pillows to get to a window, set the pillow down, knocked over a vase. Don't even know how much it was. The house is multiple millions of dollars on a lake in Metro Detroit. So yeah, we told him. We were just honest. My employee was like terrified. He was like, man, like I really screwed up. And he was visibly upset. Like I felt bad, but he told me what happened. He told the house manager, which is what we train him to do. You need to communicate ASAP. Like you don't wait. If you break something or you mess it up, you tell them immediately. You document it, send it to us, and then you tell them. And whatever the consequence is, we fix it, we take care of it. But he told them, he was like, hey.
Like Buffalo.
Yeah.
You run right into the storm. So what happened? Nothing?
House manager was like, don't worry about it.
Okay, so we have a client who has a 12,000 square foot house, high profile customer. We're not allowed to take any pictures or videos on there. I'm cleaning the windows. Between the steps from upstairs and downstairs, there's this outdoor pond. And then the glass goes straight up like 20 feet. Mm-hmm. And then they had like this, like a glass cart with like ceramic knickknacks and this little like tea kettle. It was handmade ceramic and it was like a moon and stars. It was very delicate. So I very carefully roll the cart away just like I do every time. So I can get shimmy back there and clean the window and roll it back. Well, this time the wheel on the cart just fell off and the cart literally like slow motion, like a Quentin Tarantino movie. I was like, no. And I literally dived down and I held the cart up with one hand with all the rest of the knickknacks and I caught the kettle. Sorry. Wow. I actually caught it. But then after I caught it, it rolled off. No, it was a kettle with a top.
Yeah.
And the top was like kind of big. And I caught the kettle and then bloop, the top fell off and broke into like 12 pieces.
Oh, goodness.
It was just this little tiny thing,
so
right?
Close.
But to me, this was my heart and my soul. And I was like, I instantly, like, I told my other guy, and I went to Walgreens down the street, and I got crazy glue. And there I am. I was like Bill Nye the Science Guy. Dude, I glued that fucker back perfectly, bro. And a little...
Did they notice? Did they care?
No, I put it back on, and I took pictures, and I instantly documented it, and I sent it to, hey, I broke it, but I fixed it. And I even described it looks perfect, but when you look close, you can see the little micro. And they were totally cool.
Wow.
Actually, like, I think that I made such a big deal out of it that they didn't even care. Sorry, I'm getting really into this. All right, I've been married for 12 years, and my wife is a hyper clean, organized woman. Her understanding of she wraps each individual Christmas ornament. Like, I was born in a barn, and I've learned this shit from her. I'm very thankful. I gotta be careful what I say here. I've learned that you can think something's not a big deal, and the customer will be so nice. Oh, it's okay, Anthony. It's just a vase. Mm-hmm. We can get another. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you leave and you don't even know once that door's closed. You're like, that idiot, that was Grandpa's vase. And Grandpa will know, oh my God.
Yeah.
And now you don't know why they're not calling you back. And this is a reality in the business is like, so when I walk into customers' houses, I'm like, walking on eggshells. But I have a customer that's a high profile client that you came and we did some window jobs together. This motherfucker goes inside of the customer's house, cool as a cucumber.
Oh, man.
Sprays on fresh cologne, goes in the house.
It's a fun job.
He was in and out of this mini mansion in like 42 minutes. He comes out. I'm like, what, you taking a break? He's no. His towel's over his shoulder. I'm done.
Wasn't that quick.
And I was like,
I was trying to impress you.
And you were so calm and relaxed. And I was like, I suck, dude. I literally am not, because I internal all this emotional anxiety when I'm in people's houses. That's why I got out of the field completely. Because I can't handle the emotional stress of being in so many people's homes and being so careful because I scratched a hardwood floor, a little micro scratch, and I was on the hook for like $50,000. And luckily I was able to pay to get it fixed. But are you and your employees just calm?
Yeah. Well, not all the time. Like, there's definitely a learning curve with going into houses, especially if you're starting outside only, like if landscaping or if pressure washing, and then going to inside a home. It's a completely different way of thinking and interacting with your space. But honestly, you kind of just need to muscle through it and get through the uncomfortable bit. And eventually it'll be like nothing. Because I'll tell you what, people can tell when you are uncomfortable in their house, and they can tell when you're nervous.
I think I'm an extremely empathic person. And the reason I'm talking about myself is because maybe you watching might be the same. Some of my customers, like very energetically, as soon as I walk in the house, some customers are like, cool, just jump up, start cleaning all the windows. And I'm almost like my energy is like, I got this. And the customer will be like, oh, cool. And they just go back to what they're doing and I'm banging out and I'm happy. But some customers, I walk into the house and I feel like pins and needles. And I feel like, how come it's a different scenario for every house? You shouldn't have these emotions mixed with the business. Yet I feel like I'm so empathic that I think I've gotten a lot better over time. I also talk to this. There are window cleaners who have to quit window cleaning, or employees who have to quit because they become such perfectionists about little micro spots on the window, and they don't know how to grade it, that they can't get out of the house, and they feel like they're going to get reprimanded or they're in a state of doom because that skylight window has that, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. And I think the people that don't get out of that usually don't get past that stage in their business, because you can't really scale. This is a Josh Latimer quote, is you can't scale perfection. And like, it sounds kind of like
technical perfection deception.
Yeah. Yeah. And it sounds like, no, if everything was perfect, you could scale it. But the reality is like, there's too much chaos and there's too much stuff that just happens for you to worry about solving it all before you go to the next level. And customers, I don't think they would say this, but like, all people really just want to feel like you have it. They are at ease when in the presence of a leader. You walk into somebody's house, they want to feel like, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. He's not nervous to be here. This isn't his first time. You know, if you walk in and say, hey, Miss Customer, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for having us today on the schedule. We have this, this, and this. This is our technician, Keith. We're going to be here about 2 hours. Is this a good door for us to use? That gives the impression, hey, I've done this a few times. I've got a process. It's quite different if you walk in and you're like, hi, Mrs. Customer. We're here to clean your windows. Is it okay if we use your water? Actually, this is my technician, Keith. He might help out, but not too much. He's kind of new. So, you know, I'm going to keep an eye on him though. So you don't have to worry about that. But, and I'm going to put shoe covers on, and that way I'm not going to scratch your floor.
I would never do that, but I could see.
Yeah. How does it feel? How does it feel like?
You'd be like, whoa, these guys even know what they're doing. Who the hell did I just call and I'm paying that sent to my house? I don't want people that don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We just did a window cleaning in and out for a ranch house, and then we power washed the outside of the soffits and gutters. Did a little bit of clean the sidewalk. And I gave him a deal. It was $1,000. And I just remember this customer was the type of lady who was real nice, but I could just tell the smallest little type hair trigger thing, I knew she'd become a completely different person. I just knew. So I had to maintain and hold the frame the whole time, all the way through from beginning to end of the job. And she even had a question. Well, what about this? And, oh, yeah, whoever was the previous homeowner, because she just bought the house, had this landscaper who used to do all their pressure washing and landscaping. And he was trying to get in and get the new client who was the new customer. And he actually showed up when I was gone doing quotes because I was gone. My guys were doing the job. My employee calls me. He's like, yo, some guy showed up in a pickup truck literally talking trash about our work and trying to tell the customer that we don't know what we're doing. So I called up the customer immediately. I said, hey, my employee just called me and said some contractor showed up in a pickup truck trying to say stuff about us. I just wanted to see if what they said and clarify anything, because I don't want any negative seeds being pumped in your head. We're a 5-star agency. We have like 200 positive. I know I'm going long-winded, but because I nipped it in the bud immediately and I did investigation, the customer was like, oh, no, baby. Oh, no, sugar. I know bullshit when I see it. And it was like,
yeah.
And it was awesome. And we got a 5-star review. Sorry, man.
No, customers can tell. They can tell when you're legit and they can tell when you're confident. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things, honestly, with dealing with people. They want to feel put at ease. They want to feel like you're their professional. They want you to take the freaking reins. You know, like people are stressed out in their life and they're responsible for everything that goes on. They so badly just want to like give this to somebody capable.
And being a homeowner myself, and we're spending thousands fixing we had a small flood in our basement and insurance covered some, but we have to finish off the rest. It's cost me like 20 G's out of pocket right now. We've had to have like all different types of contractors come because I'm a homeowner, obviously. And I'm learning what it's like to deal with contractors, and from shady to duplicitous to really standing up and being a stand-up guy, but being lazy and not showing up. And you have to deal with this. Like the best contractor I've hired was actually for the insulation for my garage and studio. It was the highest price, but they actually showed up on time. They picked up the phone. They did what they said they were going to do. They said they were going to do it. They did a quality job and they followed up, and it was a seamless process. And they were in and out with the crew of guys like bam, bam, bam. I was like, that was well worth my money. And it taught me, God, if you can afford it, I wish I'd have just written the check and hired somebody who was actually a lot more qualified. And so being a homeowner and hiring contractors really puts it in perspective of what you're either putting your customers through or how well you're serving them.
Yeah, I've had some nightmare experiences with our home, like hiring people to do our well. Honestly, it's not that hard to just be professional. The people that are out there running businesses, sometimes it's unbelievable, like the standards and how low they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a CRM, they don't follow-up system. They're trying to do verbal quotes and not even have a contract, and it's interesting. So anything else you want to say before we close? This is also going on the Untrapped podcast. This is too good.
I think it's good.
Like, yeah, bro. Where can people find you if they want?
I don't really have
your window cleaning channel, remember?
I think it's Window Cleaning Anthony. I don't really post anywhere, so I don't have anything of much value to add, but name is Anthony.
Anthony Heeman.
Yeah.
This guy is so awesome, so professional, 26, married, and has a 6-figure business growing rapidly. Super happy and proud of him. Also, go to keithkalfas.com if you want to learn more about the window cleaning business. I have a book called How to Make $500 a Day Cleaning Windows. You can get on audible.com and listen to it while you work. You can get the paperback book or the Window Cleaning Blueprint online course. Window Cleaning Blueprint online course. Go to keithkalfas.com and go to the courses tab, and you can learn all about window cleaning. And please leave the show a positive 5-star review. See you. Thanks, Anthony.
Good to be here.
You're awesome, bro. You're the real deal.